This is a DSi XL, the Burgundy console, part of the junk lot I purchased, so I'll be doing some tests on it, seeing if there's anything that needs to be repaired, checking components, and eventually taking it apart. Well, looks like right away, came with a stylus. Looks like a third-party stylus. Fits nicely, so this must be a DSi XL stylus. That's always nice to have kicking around. I mean, looks like it's still in pretty good shape. I'll get that jumped over to my cleaning pile. Let's see. Bad top LCD. Well, okay. I guess it'll be as easy as that, will it? Have any presents? No presents. Two of the feet are gone. And those screws are pretty worn down, so it does look like it has been pulled apart. Whoever put on this aftermarket digitizer did a really bad job, as there's that underneath the digitizer. There's a lot of dust under there as well. Ooh, yeah, that top screen's just completely toast. I don't know how well it will come up, but yeah, there it goes. You can see it's just shattered. Alright, well, this poor thing's kind of a mess. All I can really do now is disassemble it, because without being able to check the top, or without even being able to plug in a top screen easily, there's really no way I can assess these components. So I'm just going to have to put them in sort of my assumed good lot of parts, but considering the digitizer the way it is, I mean, is it? Are they really going to be good? I'm a little bit afraid to open this console up to see what it looks like inside. I'll have to test this motherboard and these components separately, and again, I just kind of have to assume they're good. Let's start by getting these off. And the last remaining feet. Okay. Goodness gracious. This isn't even the right color feet, is it? That doesn't look right. Maybe I'm just like seeing things here. Oh, that's a black foot. So that's not even the right color. It's more of a midnight blue type of shell. What the hell happened to this poor thing? This one's right. Alright. Well, it at least has a battery, so that's kind of nice. I mean, I really can't complain about a free battery. A lot of these haven't come with a battery. Ooh, a little sticky, but you know, a lot of sticky. Wow. Ooh. Something was spilt on this battery. Try and get that off. Something right here, a glob of syrup of some type. I'll be damaging the sticker along with it, but I'd rather get this sticky syrup off. The sticker's only superficial. Do try to keep the barcode at least intact. Yeah, right along there. It's just all brown from whatever soda or something got spilt on it. It's going to be very difficult to use if I have to suffer this. So despite it sort of damaging the lettering and all of the writing, it's kind of my only option. Because I'm not going to try and replace the sticker. Like, I suppose I could maybe rip it off another battery, one that's bad or bulging. But this one will just have to be in bad shape. All of the important information is still intact, the voltage rating. It just won't have that sticky syrup on it. And I mean, it's a battery. Alright, so I'm just gonna begin just assimilating all these parts. Checking out these screws just to make sure that they're correct and still usable. They're not stripped out to hell. They're not really... They weren't really installed that tightly. That's not the right screw. That's a motherboard screw. We're off to a good start. That is also a motherboard screw. Glad I'm checking these. A little stripped, but I mean, I still grab onto it. This is the wrong screw. Oh boy. Alright, well, what's behind door number 1? A warranty sticker from whatever shitty repair shop worked on this. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, shitty might be the right word. What the hell is that screw doing there? Yep, they damaged the shell. Look at that. See, this is what happens when you don't track your shells. You don't track your screws. Put a screw too long, it makes a dimple. This is wonderful. And they broke this, so it wouldn't have turned on anyway. Let's see what kind of screws are in here. Wow, that one was probably already stripped out. What the... This is an outer shell screw. They probably put that in there first and then realized, oh shit, that's the wrong screw. That's the wrong screw. That's the small screw's missing. Jesus Christ. These screws are correct. Okay. So far, it's just that backlight connector is the only thing I can really see that's wrong. And, of course, the digitizer installed. Not just poorly, but very poorly. Just no consideration for any of the crap underneath the digitizer, just... This looks okay. The wires weren't routed correctly in the shell. But, I mean... Game card slot pins are good. Charge port looks okay. Let's get this motherboard out and inspect the other side. Yeah, it looks fine. I think it's just that connector is the only problem. Okay. They didn't even bother putting the bezel back on. I need to take care of this bottom screen right now. I need to see if I can get that crap from underneath it. Like, this is awful. There's even fingerprints under there. Gee whiz. I mean, not being good at something is one thing, but to be just so negligent, almost embarrassing. There are even fingerprints on the back of this digitizer. Looks awful. Well, I'm sorry, DSi Excel. You did not deserve this level of abuse. Thankfully, a broken top screen saved you from even more just negligence. I don't even know if this bottom screen's good. I mean, after what I've seen so far, I'm not exactly have the highest of hopes. I think I got rid of those fingerprints. This thing was pried apart. I like grabbed it and it shifted on me. The frame of the actual LCD display. I think maybe in the process of trying to remove the old digitizer, they decided to pry down here. It's bent a little bit. Oh boy. Yeah, like I can feel it lifting. It's a pretty solid like housing. Like this thing shouldn't be shifting like it is in my hand. That's amazing. I mean, I'm almost surprised at how wrong this went for whomever decided to put this together. Oh, brother. Okay, I don't even know if this digitizer is worth saving. I might not devote much time into this, Because this digitizer could just be crap, so I'm just wasting my time trying to make it better. Still see a little bit of my smudge right here. And this bottom screen could just be completely bad. So yeah, I'll just throw it together. At least it's a little better. A little. I mean, I would probably junk this digitizer anyway. I don't know how clean I can get it. I can only make it so clean by hand. I like it when I can just take the plastic behind the new digitizer off and just slap it on. That will get me sort of the cleanest results. I put this on upside down. There's also hair. Okay, that at least looks serviceable. There's still some hair under there, but I'm not going to worry about that for right now. Again, I don't know if these even work, so I'm not going to spend too much time. This is just a free-floating bezel that is broken, it looks like. It's still usable. It's not cracked in half, but it looks like whoever took off that old bezel probably, to no great surprise, no idea what they were doing. That's unfortunate. Not really set up to be setting parts aside, but I mean, whoever did it didn't bother cleaning any of the buttons. Oh, Lord. Alright, well, that's why it's here. Gee whiz. Probably where some soda was spilt, too. Okay. I won't be able to even turn this motherboard on without replacing that connector. I'll see kind of how much I feel like doing here once I get this thing apart. At least those screws were correct. I don't think this top screen's been disassembled. Based on the cable routing, I would say it hasn't been taken apart. Because... yeah, okay. Let me just sort of double check everything. I mean, this top shell isn't in fantastic shape. It's got a good gouge right there, a couple marks, and just general light scratching. A lot of this stuff, I think, is like adhesive, so that should come off pretty easily, and it'll otherwise look okay. Consoles this old, I don't expect to be in amazing, perfect shape anymore, so I'll take what I can get. Ooh, yeah, that screw was in nice and tight, so that has not been taken off. Considering that every other screw I've been taking off has been not only the wrong screw, but also very loose. Um, put these over here. Deal with them later. Sort of non-critical. Well, they are critical, but non-critical to what I need to do here. I will write on the screen, however. busted. That's bottom shell is unfortunately garbage. Thanks to somebody installing that screw wrong. Because that is, of all of the cosmetic damage, that is just due to negligence. And I just I can't tolerate it. It's disgusting, gross. It's just a sign of abuse. When it comes to the other wear on this bottom shell, like there's wear around the A and the B button, and even around the D-pad. That's just a sign of love. Just hundreds of hours of video games being played on this thing. And I really can't look upon that damage negatively because that just shows that whoever had this console before this happened to it cared enough about it and even took the initiative to get the thing repaired, so it's a bit of shame it turned into what it was, but I mean, that's just how it is sometimes. Right, well, get these parts apart. This shell piece looks fine. That and the bottom shell, I'm gonna have to double check it. I need to get all those shoulder buttons removed anyway. These look okay. This one I need the junk. This motherboard, I think I will resolder that connector on. This screen I need to check. Put it in my way. Looks like a complement of gold and black screws. These look like they haven't been tampered with, thankfully. Though it's not impossible they've been not tampered with. There aren't any other gold screws on the DSi XL, so I can at least trust that those are the right ones. And just the amount of feedback these screws are giving me, it's feeling like they haven't been pulled apart before. Yeah, they look fine. Visually looks fine. Though I need to test it, of course. These all look okay. All of that looked okay. The adhesive was still there, so that's a good start. I mean, other than being sticky, like there's still some of that like soda residue here on the edges of the battery door. It looks like this shell is in okay shape. Well, it's actually in pretty good shape, all things considered. Gouge there, a couple scratches, discoloring there, but I mean, it's not the worst I've seen, definitely. And it's not in horrible shape. So, motherboard. This thing will not boot without the backlight connector. I mean, I can apply some pressure on it to at least get it to boot, but as it is right now, I can just assume it won't. And I don't really want to fiddle with that. Instead, I can just replace it. So let me get that going to do so. Should have a connector kicking around. Or these connectors kicking around. I might be running a little low. These connectors break pretty easily. Well, less so much that they break and more so that the little latches pop off. Or break off, I suppose. Yeah, I am running a little low. Well, I mean, I have 7 left. Oh, come on now. There you go. Tiny little bugger. Alright, this will be a bit of a process. I just had a thought for a second. I had to double check. I thought I had one of the little black latches kicking around in my spare parts, but I didn't. I just wanted to check that, because the latch itself, without really looking at it, or the connector itself looking at it, it looks like I might be able to reinstall a latch if I had one kicking around, but I don't, so let's get this little guy removed. Because these latches will... Because when you go to undo them, sometimes if you undo them a little too hard, they just pop off. I mean, I've done it. Or you accidentally bump it. So I can't necessarily blame people for breaking this connector. It happens. What I can blame them for is not even bothering to replace it. Oh, getting close. Both mounting pads are finally liquefied. There we go. Now I like rubbing just a tiny bit of solder paste on there. Just a bit, just to give it a few more little solder balls. I kind of think that worked out really nicely the last time I did this. Same connector too. Since I'm putting a new connector on it, won't have any solder on it. This will hopefully give it a little more solder to sort of help bolster that connection without me trying to grab my iron and put solder on there directly. There we go. And then this will be a bit of a process. What I need to do on the new connector is open it, just so I can see the solder points, the little legs. It also gives me something to grab. Tweezers had a bit of flux on them, so they got sticky. They're still a little sticky. That looks pretty okay to me. I mean, I'm no pick and place machine, so I'm only going to be able to get so close. Give that a whirl. See how that connects. Keep a eyeglass handy so I can see what's going on if I need to. me, it almost looks as though it's sitting at an angle, and it's not connecting to those pins. But what a microscope's for. Tried and true microscope. Not the best, but it works. For now, at least. Very much eyeballing a very fancy one. There it is. Zoom and enhance. Yeah, it seems a lot more lifted than it's supposed to be. I mean, I won't pretend to be like super good at doing this, but I've done it a couple times. Enough times to kind of know what to do. Maybe I must just be... I'm not imagining it, just looking at how those pins are soldered on. But it doesn't really look like the connector is lifted in the way that I'm thinking. I mean, those mounting points are nice and solid on there, so I might just have to go over here with my iron. I mean, they actually look like they might be... I'll go over it with my iron. I think it's just right there. Maybe it is fine and it's just not enough solder. Actually, I should keep my microscope handy. It'll be very helpful if it is. Let me just get reset up. And that's the little connector that could. You know what? I actually might... I won't say anything. I think it might be fine, actually, but I'll just hit it with my iron anyway. I think, if anything, it'll make that connection better. Get my iron turned on, get a little water in my sponge. I think I have the right tip in. I think it's good to go otherwise. I do have the right tip in. Just a little bit of solder there on the end. I need a little more. Not that much. Oopsie. Angle is not the greatest. I'll try not to melt that connector. And then I'll have to check with my multimeter to see if these are actually connected in the way that I want. Really doesn't look like... It looks like the connector is like shifted up. At least these pins, or maybe the pins are bent. It's a little... It just looks a little strange to me. I might have to get my other tip on to get rid of that. Stand by. Bigger tip, more surface area. Should suck up that solder. So it looks to be pretty good after I pulled off that bridge. From what I can tell, it looks connected, at least on the bottom of the pins where it should be connected. I'm just going to double check with my multimeter now to make sure that they are actually connected. So it'll be a little finicky. And I do have to clean this board a lot better. I just did enough so I don't foul my pins here. Okay. On that pad. Those are bridged. Perfect. These are also bridged. Are they always supposed to? Maybe I think they're always supposed to be. Okay, I'm having a moment. I thought they were 4 separate connections. They might not be. Because where on earth would they bridge? I just have to look at it. I think that might actually be normal, them bridging. I need to bring this a little on a bigger screen. From here, they actually do look like they're supposed to bridge. Yes, they do look like they're supposed to bridge. Okay. Ooh. Almost had a minor panic attack. I will verify this on another board. Plus, I'll be able to see the traces a little better. They're not coated in flux and rubbing alcohol. So here's a good board with an unmolested connector. And yeah, you can see those traces are linked. So I'll grab a pointer. Just a sewing needle. I can even voltage test it. So it looks like these two traces sort of fork out, go into this via, and then into this empty pad. And then these two link right here, and then go into this pad. Let me pop the latch up. And test these pins. I mean, yeah. Cool. I'm like, there's no way that there's too much solder. Alright. Pin. Those are shorting together. Those are shorting together, but they aren't shorting with these other group. Cool. Oh, good. Okay. Well, crisis averted. Repair appearing to be successful. Get that little latch down so I don't break that one off. So I'm going to need to just spend a little more time cleaning this. Some rubbing alcohol to try and get all of that out of that connector that I can. Just so that it will function. Looks like, just looking at this connector now, it looks like some solder may have climbed up the connector a little. I suppose is fine. But I just want to make sure it's nice and clean. And then I'll have to sort of press the latch down to see kind of how the action is. I don't think I've ever melted one of these things, but I just need to make sure it kind of clips down and pops up. Which it does seem to be doing that. I might want to hit these charge port legs while I'm over here. I didn't quite think of that. They look fine, but I mean, I have a solder iron hot. Might as well. I don't quite have the right tip. There we go. Very little amount of flux. Try to keep it as clean as I can. I just want to blobby on a little more solder on those legs. They can sometimes be a problem. There we go. Might do a little more on that positive line. Perfect. Get the fuse. and component EM1. Just enough to make sure that those are actually connected. There's no cracks or cold solder joints that will impact the ability to charge. Now to clean everything again. Ah, out of rubbing alcohol. Probably the first time I put a backlight connector or the backlight ribbon in there, it might be a little squishy. I think there's still some flux right in there that I really can't reach. Trying to flush it out if I can. You know, looking at it from this angle, it looks like those are very solid connections. Oh, well. Pat myself on the back for that one. I mean, now I guess I can just go ahead and try and put the backlight connector ribbon in. And just see if it sort of mushes out some of that flux that I can't really reach. Try and dry off some of it, get the bulk of the rubbing alcohol off. It's 91, so it'll dry out decently fast. Not as fast as 99, but that's why I like 91. Because there are a lot of cases where I want it to stick around for a little bit longer than what 99 will provide. 99 just washes off too quickly, or evaporates too quickly. 91 gets there. Just takes a little bit of encouraging if you want it to go a little faster. Right, here's my unfortunate bottom screen. See what happens when I plug this in. It gets a little squishy. Yeah. Seemed to go in there all right. So I think I'm good enough to start testing. Sweet. See if this motherboard is in a working order, I guess. I'll keep that kind of folded over. Let me grab testing parts. And disable this for now. Right, and hopefully I won't need my bottom screen, but I will keep it handy. And me melting the back of that LCD connector shouldn't be any problem. Guess this would be a good time to test that power board, actually. With their fancy warranty sticker. Ooh, I don't even think it is a warranty sticker. They didn't put it over any of the screws. It locks down really nicely. Okay. Right, so far so good. Put these aside. I will need to get my testing software going to test the touchscreen. But if I can at least get the thing to power on, sort of see if there's anything fishy, that's good enough for me. I'll have to test the motherboard a lot more thoroughly when I can put it in a shell of parts. So I can test things like the game card slot in a method that I'm used to. Because I can't really do that in my testing setup here. This is more just to make sure the thing boots. Where's my... Here it is. Turn off my light so I can see the screen. And it's yellowed. Wow, that's great. But I mean, not entirely unexpected. It at least turns on. And you know how I pulled this out of a DSi board? Or a Nintendo DSi? So whoever replaced this replaced it with a Japanese board. I mean, that's not necessarily that big of a deal to me, but it is an odd choice that whoever worked on this console didn't only do a really bad job replacing the digitizer, but also decided to swap the entire motherboard. Yeah. So let me start taking notes on this console. I have a notepad here on my lap. This came from a Burgundy XL with the shell serial number of WW434392900, but it is a Japanese board. See if it opens up an application running 1.4J, which is the earliest software version that turned off for really no reason. I think just this ribbon cable for the top screen starting to go bad. So I don't know. I can't blame. That's not on the motherboard. All right. Well, bottom screen is pretty good yellowed on the corner. It's possible that this poor top screen is just reaching the end of its days. Let me see if I can get my DS Pico in. I want to test the touchscreen. Stylus. It at least reads the game. Well, I think it was a Wi-Fi tester program, or like factory tool. Ooh, that is the wrong game. The wrong software. Ooh, I hate third-party digitizers. So it has just an awful texture to it. Like right up here, the texture is just awful. And I'm just hitting like spots of texture. I wonder if I can like rub it off. Because this is not sort of normal. It feels really strange. How it's sort of a weird distribution of texture. Like, almost like something was maybe spelt on it or something. Oops. I mean, I guess I really don't have any way to back that theory up. But I'll just do like swirls out of pressure I would usually use on a digitizer. And for it to be cutting out like that, I can't. I don't think I can do anything to make this touchscreen usable. The way it's cutting out like that, I don't think that's not something a screen protector is going to fix. That's just, you have to put a lot more pressure on it than I would be comfortable doing. Like, I'm pressing it down. Like, you're supposed to almost use it like a pencil in a way. And just the way it's just disconnecting and leaving all of these gaps. An OEM digitizer will not leave these gaps. Or even a good third-party digitizer won't. Considering the way it was installed, I mean, I really can't say. But at least as far as the motherboard is concerned, it works. So does the power board. And though the board is Japanese, that is something that I don't mind having. I'm wondering if this is a third-party screen. It really doesn't feel right. Like this whole back housing is just like shifting from side to side. Like, oh, you can almost see it. Like, there should be no play. Absolutely no play in that. It feels weird. It's yellowed, so there's really nothing I can do about that. So, I mean, I'll grab the motherboard serial number and just sort of toss it in a pile of, I need to test this further. There is, like, weird Sharpie right here. I'm wondering if that's part of that stamp that they used. Or something. So let's see. This is motherboard 35060012 U0156RY negative A01. Backlight connector tab ripped off. Backlight. Off. Replaced. I never did check the thing if the thing charges. That's an easy enough test. I don't even have to put the thing together more than I need to. I'll just put it in a housing, put my tester battery in, get my USB tester in. Let's see what happens. Solid orange light, pulling 0.5 amps. Yeah, charge port's good. I have no reason to suspect anything wrong with it. Needs, I'll just put needs testing. Perfect. I can remove this and separate it, put it into my parts pile. That's, actually, I never tested the D-pad fully, so I'll put it in the pile of parts that need testing, but are assumed good. Fantastic. I think that's all I'm gonna do with that then. I'll have to wait until I can get another console in order to fully test the motherboard, as well as all of the components I just ripped out, but they all looked fine. I mean, it's a shame about the shell, it's a shame about... Well, it's not really a shame about the bottom screen, because, I mean, it's yellowed. There's not much I can do about that. So I'll call it with that.